This talk is brought to you by Talent Tactics and Amplified Story. Thank you for joining us to part 4. Part 4 is the last segment, which is called the hidden job market. Kind of builds up on the networking, but I really want to make this point across, and I want to build a little bit more from the networking perspective, because it really is, if you are able to enter the hidden job market, you feel less stressed. If you get laid off, you're not starting from scratch. You have a strong community behind you. And so I just want to really emphasize this part. How many of, and the idea here is that instead of getting telephone calls of rejection or people hanging up or not wanting to talk to you and being frustrated, people are actually calling you to offer you a position. They heard you were looking, they thought about you when they saw this position, and they want you to work for their company because you're such a great individual, because you know them, you're not a stranger, right? Stranger danger. The idea, again, under reality check number 2 is no one helps strangers. And so this way, by being out in the community, being out and about, talking with people, bringing those barriers down, no longer being a stranger, people reach out to you and provide you with opportunities. My last 3 jobs, people, a person walked up to me and said, do you want to work for our company? Another person I've worked with on a volunteer basis for 2.5 years, and an opportunity came up with their organization and said, hey, do you want to come work for us? I think you would be perfect for it. So it really does help when you're an active community member to enter that hidden job market. And so this is, remember part 1, I set up the whole luck, and that luck plays a critical role in your job search, and you can increase and decrease your luck. And so I'm going to now bring back luck into here, where luck is really about being at the right place at the right time with the right skills, with the right job, and having those opportunities in front of you. This is usually what our network looks like. And this is all great. And people think they have a strong network until they get laid off. And when they get laid off, a large portion of their network gets decimated because all the people that they know were people from work, and now they're all gone. And so the idea here is that those individuals, it's sort of like having an investment portfolio. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You got to diversify your network so that if you get laid off from work and all your work contacts are gone, you have other networks to build off of. Now here's the issue, and this is back to the Netflix issue, the sitting on the couch. You're in your comfort zone. You enjoy sitting at home. You enjoy feeling safe. Your brain likes not doing a lot of things and just sitting docile. It doesn't like to spend a lot of energy. And so it teaches you, don't do anything different. Don't do anything strange. Anything that's different and strange is dangerous. Just stay at home where it's safe. Your brain is actually having this conversation with you. So the only way you can get into the hidden job market is where the magic happens. And the magic doesn't happen at home. It happens everywhere but the home. So you got to get out of your house and get involved in your community. Now, by community, I just don't mean your neighborhood. Your community can be anything and everything. I just want to go through a few kind of things that you've just never actually thought about. And again, remember, it's not that you're asking, do you have a job? Do you have a job? Do you have a job? You're asking, do you know somebody in this company? Do you know somebody in this position? Or do you know somebody in this industry? And the chances are, when you ask those questions in your community, you're going to be led to another person and another person and another person, and ultimately that 1 to 4% will be able to help you. Start with your family. You don't know who your family knows. So ask them, do you know somebody in this position, in this industry, in this company? You'll be surprised about, and guess what? Your family are not strangers. They will help you if they can. They might not have a position or know of a position, but they might know of a person who might know a person of a person. You get the idea. Your neighborhood. Get involved. Calgary, Edmonton, Red Deer, Lethbridge, we have snow. Shovel your neighbor's walk. When you see a neighbor shoveling their walk, help them out. Start a conversation with them. I can't tell you how many times I've seen neighbors, the garage door opens, they go in and their garage door closes. And I once had a neighbor that didn't talk to me for 3 years. Now we have coffee every Saturday or Sunday, maybe once a month or so. Our kids are the same age. But for 3 years, they never spoke to me. I now know, and it took 5 years. This isn't something that took over, a course of a weekend. In 5 years, I know 12 of my neighbors. That means I have 12 houses that I can drop off emergency babysitting, borrow an egg. Yesterday, I ran out of milk. I ran over, wasn't a complete stranger. I've known these people for years, knocking on the door and say, "Can I borrow a glass of milk?" I ran out. They gave me their entire 4-liter jug and they said, "We don't want it back. Do not. If you give a 4-liter jug back to us, we'll be insulted." And so getting to know your neighbors, they're a huge resource. No one's going to go, "Hey, you know that guy that never talks to us, that strange neighbor that doesn't say hello, doesn't go out of their house, we've never seen them." No one's going to want to help you. But if you're an active community member, if you're an active neighborhood individual, shovels, walks, talks to people, cuts your neighbor's grass. I cut my neighbor's grass on both sides. I shovel my walk on both sides. If I ever need a favor, they owe me, right? Because I've been shoveling and cutting their grass for the number of years. I don't feel awkward asking them for favors. Community associations. If you want something done to a park, if you want something in your community, join your community association. You'll meet a whole bunch of individuals that are passionate about your neighborhood, that want to make your neighborhood better, that you'll understand the politics, the complexity, working with the alderman, the mayor, whatever it may be, but be an active member in the community. How many of you voted? I hope if you could vote, you did vote, but let's take it a step further. How many of you participated in choosing the candidate to run in your riding? Because the parties actually have sort of pre-elections for who's going to represent that riding. Putting lines, knocking on doors, dropping off flyers. There's a lot that you can do in a political campaign that will actually help the person that's running for office. And guess what? If they end up winning, you have somebody that can actually do something in the government, that can help you, that can listen to you, and they're not a stranger because you've worked on their campaign, you've helped out, you've interacted with them for months and months at a time, helping on a campaign. Get involved in the next campaign, whether it be local, provincial, or federal. Get involved it doesn't have to be a lot. It can be dropping off signs, putting in flyers. If you don't want to be door knocking, don't door knock. Do something that I actually enjoy. I didn't know how to phrase this one. I used to say church, non-secular, but whatever religion you are, there's a group of individuals that share your belief system. Especially if you're new to a city, this is the first place you should go in. There's lots of activities, lots of community initiatives, but the majority of us, what we'll do is we'll go in, we'll do our 1 hour, and then we'll leave. But there's so many more activities there. Get involved in whatever religious belief system you have. Get involved in that community. You'll meet people, you'll meet more people, and again, you're not looking for a job, you're seeing how you can help others, and then you're going to be asking, do you know somebody in this company, in this industry, or in this position that I could talk to, right? It's a lifestyle. It's not a strategy, it's a lifestyle. Workplace kind of doesn't help you if you're unemployed, but when you are employed, join community, whether it's the social club, the safety committee, meet other members of your work. I can't tell you how many companies I've been to, especially if they're larger companies, that people have been working together for years and they don't even know each other's names. They just seen each other passing by in the hallway. Get to know people in your workplace. Don't be a Debbie Downer, don't be an emotional vampire, but start talking to the people in the workplace, not just in your department, but everywhere else. Volunteer. Calgary has, I believe, over 150 volunteer organizations. 150. Volunteering is very much like a job. Your first volunteer experience you might not like, and then it isn't until your third or fourth kind of organization or that you really find your passion, that you're really passionate about, that you want to do, you want to contribute, you want to make the community better. And so go out, experiment, explore. Again, what you try the first time isn't something that you're going to be doing for life. It's just experimenting, but get involved. Again, it doesn't have to be 40 hours a week, 20 hours a week, 3 hours a week, getting out. Make a goal for yourself of getting out of the house once a week, right? Just once a week, go out, do something good for the community. and you will actually see that given back to you tenfold. Sports. Get active. This is why hockey is such a, and hockey players and parents of hockey truly understand the true benefit of it. It's not just building a team mentality. The amount of networking and people that you get to meet in a hockey team, hockey parents, coaches, associations, it's enormous. And those people spend countless hundreds of hours together in a year. They're no longer strangers. Hockey parents actually get together as outside and have dinners and fundraisers or whatever it may be. It's a wonderful activity. But if hockey's not your thing, ultimate frisbee. And if you don't like getting running, there's a sport for you too. Frisbee golf. It costs you $20, and there, believe it or not, there are free courses all over the city for free. You just go out, grab a frisbee, and start tossing it. You might meet a couple of strangers, two people that are by themselves playing frisbee. Have a game. You've just met a friend. Simple enough, right? But get out there in the community, get involved. Hobby. You believe your parent or somebody in your family has diabetes? Well, start running marathons. The Canadian Diabetes Association, I apologize if I killed that name, but they run marathons. If it's not your thing, but find a hobby group. Cycling, if you enjoy Lego, there's a community where you sit and build Legos and experiment and show your designs or whatever. Dungeons and Dragons. My safety officer, the way he got his job was he asked his dungeon master, he asked his dungeon master, hey, does anyone know of anyone that is looking for a health and safety officer? And he's like, yeah, my company's hiring one. And it was for a year, he was looking to get into that industry and no one would hire him because, again, that job scan, he didn't have that match of the skills. He actually applied for my position and I rejected him because he was a square applying for a circle, and it wasn't until my IT guy said, hey, I have a friend applying for it that that I was interested in, bring him in. If anything, I'll just interview him just to get him experience. And I love the guy. But if he didn't ask his hobby group, does anyone know? For a year, he never mentioned it. And he was desperate. He was just asking anyone and everyone. And you shouldn't be desperate. You should just be asking. It should be part of your repertoire. Didn't change that slide. Anyways, when you are doing events and you're going to events, a lot of us just go to events, we show up for the talk, whatever it may be, and we leave. What a waste of time. What a waste of 50, 60, $100 that you've just done. Stay afterwards and talk to people. Use those Jedi mind tricks that I've taught you. Set a goal for yourself to meet 5 to 7 people. And even if you've met one, follow up with them. Again, people will not help strangers. Interact and connect with people and continuously go to those events, because the first time you're going to not know anyone, but the fourth and the fifth time that you go to that specific event, as adults, we have forgotten how to make friends. We have friends right now that we don't even like, but we've been friends for so long that they're just friends, and we've forgotten how we make friends. The way you make friends is that you just hang out a really long time with the same group of people in the same location over and over, and that tends to be school for us when we're younger. And as adults, we forget and we make friends at work. Why? Because we spend 40 hours of our week at work. And the only way we're going to make new friends is by getting out into the community and interacting with complete strangers until such time as one day you're like, I guess we're friends. It was funny. I didn't realize I became friends with somebody until I called them up and I knew they had a truck. I just bought a large screen TV and it wasn't going to fit in my car. And they're the first person that came to mind. And I said, hey, I know this is really awkward, but I'm at Best Buy. I just bought a TV. I have no way of getting it home. They're going to charge me $60 and next week. Could you just swing by and come pick me up? And they said yes. And that's when and both of us, and we were actually talking about this on the way home. And the person driving actually said, well, I guess we're friends now because I'm helping you with my truck. And I said, yes. So here's another tip. Get yourself a truck. You'll make a lot more friends with a truck. And associations, professional associations. So if you are a professional, Get involved in your association, whether it's running for the board, volunteering for the subcommittees, running conferences, events, communication. I write for my association articles about HR and technology. Every 4 months, 4,000 people read my articles. I do it, one, because I enjoy it. I enjoy sharing technology and HR and the merger of them. But where else am I going to have an opportunity to remind people every 4 months, 4,000 of them, that, hey, I exist. Here's some additional information. I'm helping the community. I'm not looking for anything, but when I go to events, I get people, hey, I read your article. That was interesting. That was a good point. Hey, what do you think about this? Hey, your article kind of moved me to this sort of thing. So it's definitely get involved in your association. It's going to help you, because this is what's happening right now. If you have a small network, all the magic and all the opportunities, all the hidden jobs that aren't being advertised for are happening right now. They're happening today. Right now, somebody is looking for somebody that they don't know, and you're missing out on it. The only way you're going to access the hidden job market is by getting involved in that community, seeing that community, interacting with them, connecting with them, and not making them strangers. So your job search is really networking, volunteering, doing cold calls, picking up the phone and seeing if somebody's hiring, and applying online. But just applying online over and over 200 times is not, you got to get out there. You got to get involved. You got to be an active community member. This is a lifestyle change. This isn't something that you're going to do once you land a job, you're going to drop. It's a healthy lifestyle. Where a lot of people fail at losing weight is they get fit, they get their mark, and they're like, oh, okay, I've met my mark. Now I can stop eating healthy. I can stop exercising. And what happens? They gain weight again. This is the exact same thing. You don't stop being an active community member. You get involved, you stay involved, you contribute, you make your community better. You make it better than when you entered it. And the community is going to make sure to take care of you. But your community is not going to do anything for you until you've actually done something for your community. Just a little bit about social media. I could give you a whole talk about social media, but the idea here is social media has made it now okay to talk to complete strangers. Whereas before it used to be the old traditional, the networking is, hey, can you introduce me to this person? Can I talk to this person? Can you let them know social media has broken down those barriers, and it's okay to connect with complete strangers. But remember, complete strangers are not going to help you. And so the idea here is you reach out, you say, hey, I know that you're working for this industry. I'm trying to break in. Hey, I see that you went from being a server to working in a corporation. Can I pick your brain about something or whatever it may be? It's okay to meet strangers, and it's okay to reach out to strangers through social media. However, once you've had this strategy, if you let it go, what's going to happen is those people are going to drop off, and they're going to forget about you, and all that hard work is really not going to pay off. And the idea is here, you need to keep them warm, because eventually you're going to lose your entire network again. And by reaching out saying, hey, I've liked this, I've commented this, I've shared this, what do you think about this? Look at my resume. What's your opinion on this? You're going to get a much more interactive, livelier conversation with individuals. And when you go on to networking events, you're going to meet a whole bunch of people. But if you end up being that person that has lost that weight, and then you go, oh, I got to stop. I can now stop talking to people. I can stop volunteering. You're going to end up exactly in the same spot. Be an active community member. And lastly, if you haven't learned anything from my talk, then at least learn this lesson. Look at this toddler and tell me what this toddler can teach us. Now, whenever I show this video, ultimately what people shout out is never give up. And that's a great life lesson, and I don't want you to ever give up. But never giving up and doing the same thing over and over and over again is not going to get you any results. And what this toddler is teaching you is, if it's not working for you, stop it. If sitting in front of a computer and sending emails and your general resume over and over, sitting at Netflix, nothing happens, stop doing it. Try something different, because you can persevere and you can try doing the same thing over and over and never giving up, but it's going to give you the same results. Don't give up, but more important is that you try something different. Thank you. If you have any questions, please let me know. This talk was brought to you by Talent Tactics and Amplified Story. Thank you.